Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new letter from the alphabet of my complete collection of Blu-rays, 4K, steelbooks, all that sort of thing. So today we're going to be looking at the letter D, so come and join me. Yeah. Okay, so the letter D, let's just get started, let's get straight into it. Okay, so first up we have from the director of Dog Soldiers and Descent, Doomsday, which starred old what's-her-face, Rona Mitra, who was a model for Lara Croft at the time. I remember this being quite an enjoyable film. Been sometimes since I've seen it. Gary Oldman next, Keanu Reeves, Bram Stoker's Dracula. Would it go under B or should it go under D? It's gone under D for Dracula, anyway. So we can have that argument later. Next up, the sequel to The Shining, 4K version of Doctor Sleep. This does have the extended cut on it as well. And I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was a fantastic sequel in a different sense to The Shining, which is a fantastic, fantastic film. But I thought this was very, very good. Next up, Mel Gibson, Dragged Across Concrete, from the director of Brawl and Cell Block 99, which was a good film, and Bone Tomahawk, again, a fantastic film. This was very good. Vince Vaughn also playing against type. It's always good when Vince Vaughn plays against type because he has got quite a good range when he has that opportunity. Next up, a classic film from the late 80s, Disclosure, Michael Douglas and Demi Moore. Not seen that for some considerable amount of time. And then we have Don't Breathe. This is still sealed because it was £2 pickup. But obviously I have seen the film. I just never bought it at the time when it first came out. Waited, the price dropped massively. I picked it up. I haven't watched it yet. I do have Don't Breathe 2, which will no doubt come into play in a little bit. Then we have Christopher Nolan with Dunkirk. I love this film. I went to the cinema. I took my dad to see it at the cinema. I thought it was, it's light on narrative, really, but it puts you into that situation. It puts you in the plane. It puts you on the boats. It puts you onto that beach in Dunkirk. And it's quite a short film, but it's just fantastically done. I love it. Next up, Denzel Washington in Deja Vu. Again, sealed from Poundland. Obviously, I have seen the film. Been some time. And then Date Night. Again, Poundland, £2 sealed. Steve Carell. Big fan of Steve Carell. Love The American Office. Think he's fantastic. I haven't seen this yet. Then we have Steven Spielberg. Duel. Fantastic film. It was a TV movie, but in this country it came out theatrically and they filmed additional scenes to it. It doesn't feel like a TV movie. This feels like a theatrical film. What Steven Spielberg done with the film of this is fantastic. If you haven't seen it, you should watch the film, but also check out the making of documentary that's included. It's retrospective. It's just fantastic, and a lot of insight into the troubles they had making the film and this sort of thing. And how Steven Spielberg, I think he filmed it in about 15 days or something like that. The company wanted him to do it on a green screen. He refused. He said, I've got to do it on the road. And so he did shoot it out live, and it's just a fantastic film. Then we have Das Boot from Wolfgang Petersen. Fantastic film. Another Poundland pickup, Defiance, Daniel Craig, yet to watch it. And then we have a German import, Maggie Q in Death of Me. I think I started watching it, but I switched it off. So I've yet to still watch it. Yeah. No reversible sleeve on that one. Then we have Dumb and Dumber. First one, fantastic, very funny. Jim Carrey, Jeff Daniels, again, stepping outside of what he would usually do. Fantastic in it. Bruce Willis, Meryl Streep, Goldie Hawn, Death Becomes Her. Very good film. Very, very good film. Great special effects in it as well. And here we have Halle Berry and Olivia Martinez. Olivia. Dark Tide. I haven't watched it. It's based on a game, I believe. DOA. Dead or Alive. I remember I haven't watched this film for a long, long time. I had it on DVD. I haven't watched it since I had it on Blu-ray. But I remember it being, I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. Jamie Presley looks fantastic in it. She was in better. My Name is Earl. Isn't it My Name is Earl? Yeah, the comedy. Now for some steelbooks. Divergent. This is the only one of this series that I have in steelbook. Then we have Robert De Niro. Meryl Streep, Christopher Walken, The Deer Hunter. Superb. Lovely steelbook as well on that. And then we have Dark Tower, which is a film I've never actually bothered watching. Matthew McConaughey and Idris Elba. And then we have I Come in Peace. That was the title for it in America, I believe. Over here it was called Dark Angel. This is a German release with a sort of lenticular on it. It doesn't really do anything fantastic, but there you go. It's a steelbook with lenticular for the Dolph Lundgren film Dark Angel, which was a lot of fun. And then I did put this in here, still sealed. Obviously, I have seen them. The Dirty Harry collection. So this includes Dirty Harry, Magnum Force, The Enforcer, Sudden Impact, and the Deadpool. Bit of Clint Eastwood. You cannot go wrong. So now we have Mark Wahlberg, Deepwater Horizon, which I really enjoyed. I thought it was a fantastic film based on true story of the oil rig. Then we have Darkest Hour. With Gary Oldman as Winston Churchill. I picked this up cheap. I really enjoyed it. Didn't think it had too much rewatchability, but it was going very cheap, and thusly I picked it up. Then we have Dark Shadows. I didn't think it was as bad as what everyone made out. I enjoyed it. And the Da Vinci Code. Yes. Now, I have got with them, because I will show them, Angels and Demons and Inferno. I'll show it under the D's because in my mind it's the Da Vinci Code trilogy. I also have that one on 4K, which I think I picked up for like a couple of quid. I think Poundland were doing them in 4K. The 4K's them at £2 at one point. So yeah. Then we have Day After Tomorrow. Classic end of the world scenario type of film. Great special effects. I love this sort of a film. I just get a lot of fun out of them. A lot of enjoyment. Then we have The Day After Tomorrow. The Day the Earth Stood Still with Keanu Reeves. I should really look into getting the original classic version, which is far better. Now for a little bit of Stallone. Daylight. Again, one of those sort of films where it's a tragedy happens, an accident occurs, and people have to fight for survival. I like this sort of film. Daylight, Sylvester Stallone, can't go wrong. The Death Race trilogy. Yep. So this is Death Race 2, and Death Race Inferno. First one's obviously Jason Statham. Yeah. And then we have Death Race Beyond Anarchy, which is the fourth in that series. But this one's still sealed, as you can see. Came from European Union somewhere. Not Germany. Maybe a Dutch release or something like that. But I've still yet to watch that one. Keeping with that Death Race theme. I don't have the original, but I do have Death Race 2050 that I picked up for a £5 in CEX. Couldn't remember. Yeah, but I've still yet to watch that one. Obviously, it's not part of that continuity or anything like that. It's more like the original. It's a Roger Corman film as well. Then we have Bruce Willis in Death Wish. That I didn't mind. I really didn't mind that film. Thought it was okay. Now, great film this. Deep Blue Sea, fantastic. I really love this film. The animatronic sharks in it look brilliant. They look superb. Yeah, and they made 2 sequels, which I have. So you have here Deep Blue Sea 2, which took the piranha route in that the sharks spawned babies and the babies went on a killing spree. not very good at all. Straight to video fair, do you know what I mean? Straight to DVD, so you knew they weren't going to be very good anyway. But I'm a sucker for shark films, and Deep Blue Sea 3, which is marginally better than Deep Blue Sea 2. But when you compare them to the first Deep Blue Sea, there's no comparison whatsoever. Yeah, they shouldn't even be given that name, but there you go. And then we have here, what do we have? Another End of the World disaster film. Came out in 1998. Deep Impact alongside Armageddon, which obviously done better. Deep Impact's more of a sort of realistic take on the end of the world. And yeah, they don't stop the meteorite at the end. But a very, very good film. Up next, District 9. Fantastic film by, what's his name? Neil Blomkamp, yep. Very enjoyable, great special effects in it as well. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. Disturbia, which is kind of sort of a remake on Rear Window, starring everyone's favourite actor, Shia LaBeouf. Now, great film from when I was younger. Dragonheart, love this film. Fantastic soundtrack to it as well. Sean Connery voices the dragon. Dennis Quaid, obviously. Very, very good film. There was a load of sequels done. Not worth the time of day. Then we've got Drive Angry, Nicolas Cage. One of my all-time favourite actors back in the day. Although he still gives some decent performances now. At least he tries when he goes and does a film. But he makes a lot of crap. And then we have an earlier version of Duel, which should go in my doubles pile for like a giveaway or something at some point. Well, looks like a few comedies now. So, first up, Vince Vaughn with Delivery Man. Enjoyable film, just Vince Vaughn's performance. You know, Vince Vaughn is Vince Vaughn in most things, isn't he? But he's one of them sort of performers that you like to watch. He's quite good, even though he doesn't change much. But like I said earlier, he has stepped out of that comfort zone with a couple of films. But yeah, then we have Dumb and Dumber 2, the long-awaited sequel to Dumb and Dumber. Which went down like a lead balloon, but was it that bad? It was all right. Robert Downey Jr. and Zach Galifianakis in Due Date. Whatever happened to Zach Galifianakis? Don't see him much now, do you? Then we have The Dictator. Sacha Baron Cohen. It was all right. Film that I quite enjoy. Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. They've got great chemistry. Obviously, they've done a few films together. The one where they're the police officers. That was very good. Yeah, Daddy's Home. And Daddy's Home 2 that included Mel Gibson and John Lithgow. I mean, you know, look at the cast. How can you not want to see that? Mel Gibson, John Lithgow, Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell. Fantastic getting them actors together. Now, I don't know if this should really come under TV, probably, but it's there anyway. Deadwood, the movie that concludes the fantastic TV series. It was great that we got this after so much time. Now, next film will come up again when I get to G for Grindhouse. Death Proof, Kurt Russell in the Quentin Tarantino part of the Grindhouse experience. Then a film that I got for about £1, and I don't know why, Dragon Wars. Big monsters in a city. Yeah. Ricky Gervais, big fan of Ricky Gervais. Loved the UK Office, loved the American Office as well. As a different sort of beast. But David Brent, Life on the Road. It was great to see the character back. Obviously, it hasn't got the magic of The Office, but it was sort of nice to see the character back and what he'd been doing next. Now, what would a D be like? Or what would the letter D be like for films if you didn't have the Die Hard films? So, the Die Hard quadrilogy, which obviously includes Die Hard, Die Hard 2, Die Hard with a Vengeance, and the UK named Die Hard 4.0, which bugs me to this day. I hate that title. I hate it with a vengeance. Which obviously made me pick up Live Free or Die Hard, because I much prefer the title. At least they didn't change the title to A Good Day to Die Hard, which is a great title, but alas, the film is horrible. But I'll tell you what, you watch the trailer for this film, first trailer, and it looks fantastic. It's one of those, it's a really well made trailer, I've got to say, really well put together. Probably because of the use of Ode to Joy, you know, the song, you know, that classic piece of music that was used in the first Die Hard film reprise. It was probably that brought back the memories, that done it for the trailer. But yeah, so A Good Day to Die Hard. And ironically, the worst Die Hard film is the one that I've got. Well, no, actually, I've got double, haven't I? Yeah, I've got 2 copies of it. The other one being... No, yeah, 2 copies. Sorry, getting confused. The Steelbook version, which I picked up for about £2, just because. Now, I do have Die Hard itself on 4K. I reviewed the 4K at Christmas, but I'm not entirely sure where it is. It's around somewhere. I really need to have a proper sort out. Now, stepping into superhero territory a little bit. First up, Marvel's Daredevil with Ben Affleck, which, I'll be honest, I really didn't mind the film. I don't think it's as bad as what people make out. Yeah, the extended cut is far superior to the theatrical cut, but it's very faithful to the origin story. It's got a lot of nods and Easter eggs to the comic book world in it, with names and all this sort of thing. So, for me, it was quite a joy. And then we have the Dark Man Trilogy. I've got a broken box there, look. I need to get that sorted. Must have happened in a move. So the Dark Man Trilogy, Dark Man 1, Dark Man 2, The Return of Durant, and Dark Man 3, Die, Dark Man, Die. Dark Man's, you know, it's an okay film. It's an enjoyable Sam Raimi movie. The sequels obviously didn't have Liam Neeson in. I think the third one I recall was better than the second one. And then we have Dick Tracy. I'd love to see a 4K version of this, actually. I really like this film. I like the way it was made. I like the way it was done. I like the look of it. Just very enjoyable. Then we have Deadpool on Blu-ray. Who wouldn't have Deadpool in their collection? Deadpool 2. Super duper cut. And Once Upon a Deadpool, which is another cut of Deadpool 2 for a younger audience, adding in new scenes with which is sort of copies the Princess Bride film. But I also have lenticular steelbooks for the first Deadpool and obviously for Deadpool 2. But unfortunately, this version here, when they'd done this, it didn't include the super duper cut as a 4K, which you get in the other ones. So a bit of a swizz there on that purchase. Stepping out of the world of comic book, Dracula, Blu-ray Steelbook edition from the horror classic stuff, with art by Alex Ross on the covers. Alex Ross being a quite famous comic book artist, as well as another artist, sort of artist. He does a lot, but I know him as a comic book artist. Then stepping into a bit of horror selection, the Atlov Pass incident, based on the true incident that they believe they've now solved. Then we have Dracula Untold. I can't remember the film very much, but I don't think I didn't like it. Drag Me to Hell, which was quite a fun movie. Again, a Sam Raimi movie. So it's got those sort of Sam Raimi isms to it in the way he films. He's got a distinctive style, doesn't he? And then we have another version of Darkest Hour, but not the Gary Oldman one. I picked this up really cheap. Emil Hirsch stars in it. I had to look at his name there, couldn't remember it. And then I have Dante's Peak, the Volcano film. Again, came out in the same year as the movie Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones. reversible sleeve because it's a German release. Don't think it's available over here on Blu-ray. And a film that I love from Disney Collection, Disney's Dinosaur. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. Thought it looked fantastic. I'd love a 4K version of that, please, Disney. Okay, now we have like a special edition version of Donnie Darko from Arrow, which has thick book in it, hardback book, fantastic, and obviously the film on 4K. I think it's got both versions on it, director's cut, extended cut, that sort of thing. Yep. And now a film that I have 3 copies of. Okay. First up, German Blu-ray 3D and Blu-ray release, because I like the steelbook. Dredd. Carl Urban. Obviously, come back to Judge Dredd under the J's with Judge Dredd itself. But yeah, so this was a fantastic film. No one went to see it. It was badly advertised, and a film that deserved a sequel, and we didn't get no one. Didn't get one. Next up is the 4K Amaray German release. Again, because I much preferred the art than what we got over here on it. And then a more recent purchase, Best Buy exclusive version of Dredd from the US. 4K version again with its own slipcover, with some artwork on it, as you can see. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful release. I've done an opening for this. Just fantastic art on the discs, on the inside, and on the front and back. I do have the Punisher on the way, which looks fantastic. It's in transit now, but by the time you see this, I'd have had it for probably about a month or so, because I'm filming this quite early. Okay, thankfully we're getting close to the end, so yes. So first up here, what I've just found, Don John. I quite enjoyed this film. Written and directed by Joseph Gordon-Levitt himself. Stars himself, Scarlett Johansson and Julianne Moore. Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino, Devil's Advocate. Pound and Pickup, Dan in Real Life, Steve Carell. Another Poundland pickup. This was Dad's Army, the film. Obviously I showed Don't Breathe earlier, but the first version I got of it was this one here. I think it's Australian. I don't know how I ended up with that. I picked it up again in Poundland, so it didn't have all this junk on it. So again, giveaway territory for that one. Then we have Don't Breathe 2, which I got on 4K, which I really enjoyed, and a lot of people had issue with it, but I didn't mind them sort of turning him into this sort of anti-hero. You know, decent progression for the character, a decent way to get sequels out of the character. Hope they do another one. Then we have Dawn of the Dead, the remake version, which reminds me, as I spin around, I'm just venturing into my steelbook territory behind me. I have the original Dawn of the Dead on a 4-disc version from Germany, steelbook. Very nice. That just came to mind because of that. See, I do forget things. This is why I do a mop-up session at the end. Dracula 2000, Johnny Lee Miller. I enjoyed that back in the day, and it's got a young Gerald Butler in it as Dracula. Dead Again in Tombstone, the trailer looked good. Lastly, I picked it up very, very cheap, next to nothing. And then we have Woody Harrelson and Liam Hemsworth in the Duel. I don't remember even picking this up or where I got it from. Poundland probably. Woody Harrelson's always good, so I'll watch that. 2 westerns there yet to watch. Gina Carano now, Daughter of the Wolf, and Richard Dreyfuss. Gina Carano, I think she's great. I loved her in The Mandalorian. Shame what happened with her, all that crap that went on. But I'm a big supporter of hers, hence why I got that film. Next up, Stallone again and Wesley Snipes' Demolition Man. Now, a lot of people love this film. I have issue with it. A lot of issues. I ain't got the general opinion that other people do of it. It's not one of my favourite Sylvester Stallone films, and I'll be honest, I may not ever watch it again. Every time I go to watch it, I have issue. If I have to choose this or Judge Dredd, it will be Judge Dredd. although it isn't really Judge Dredd. The world is Judge Dredd, the character isn't. Now, if you can dodge a car, you can dodge a ball. Dodgeball, very funny film, fantastic, love it. Again, Vince Vaughn, Ben Stiller, great together. Then we have Dog Soldiers. This is from abroad, but it's not a very good transfer, or I'm waiting for the 4K version to come, which I will replace it. But it's a fantastic film. It's a fantastic werewolf film. Very, very good. And then last but not least for the Ds is The Dark Side of the Moon. Which again, this is a version that I got from Germany. Just looking at the reversible slip that's in there, just to make sure it was a German release. Yeah, so Germany for this, an old film, sort of horror in space that I left out of my horror video section. So that's it for the Ds. That's it for the Ds. So now I've got my mop-up section where I know that inevitably I've missed stuff out of the A, Bs and Cs, or I might have picked some stuff up that fall under those categories. So we'll get through these quick. I've got a pile here from all letters. So first up, pick up in CEX, Crimson Tide. Gene Hackman, Denzel Washington, fantastic film. Cruel Intentions, the very first one. Amy Adams was in the straight-to-video third one. Now, I don't know how I could forget this. This came from abroad as well, but it is the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer film. Christy Swanson, is it? Or Kirsty Swanson or something like that? Christy Swanson, yes. Yeah, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I like the art. I like the cover. Then we have Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter 3D. This was a Poundland pickup. Don't know if it's any good, yet to watch it. Steelbook of Chaos Walking, which I got for cheap. But I didn't get all the way through the film. What does that say? Now this is quite an expensive pickup in CEX, as you can see. Buckaroo Banzai, The Adventures of the aforementioned character. It is the reversible sleeve with the booklet that came with it, so I got that. Under the Seas, Van Damme, Cyborg. It's one of the ones with the slip, which is limited to 3,000 copies, and inside you've got art cards and a poster in this one. Now, I don't know how I managed to forget the next title under when I'd done B, because it's quite a prominent title, and especially because I'm a big superhero fan, comic book fan. It is Birds of Prey. How I forgot that, I don't know. But there you go. Not only that, but I have the 4K version as well in this fantastic art style slipcover. So, slipcover, art style steelbook. How I managed to forget, I don't know. Undersea, Chicken Run. This is obviously from this German release for the film. Mel Gibson, voice Chicken, Aardman, animation, Wallace and Gromit. And then we have Under B, which I just got, and the day I'm filming this, I'm doing an opening for it, and that is Breakdown with Kurt Russell. So if you go back and see when I've done the date of that opening, that tells you when I recorded this compared to when I've released it. So yeah, Breakdown, Kurt Russell. Fantastic thriller. And last but not least, a Mondo Steelbook from the Marvel collection under the letter A, Ant-Man. First Ant-Man film. And it's quite stiff getting this one out with the thingy in it, but as you can see, again, I've done an opening for this, and this just came, I got yesterday. But yeah, so very, very nice. So that's it. That's it for my letters, beginning with D. So that's it. Quite a lot. So obviously in 2 weeks' time, you can meet me back here, same day, same time, Saturday morning, for E. Now I'm pretty sure E isn't going to be as vast as D. Thank God for that. But what this does show me doing this is that I'm losing control of my collection. I don't know where stuff is. I mean, I Die Hard 4K. It's probably downstairs somewhere. I watched it at Christmas. I reviewed it at Christmas as my last final 12 Days of Christmas film. And thusly, I can't seem to find it now. Superb. Anyway, this is AJ. I'm getting going. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care all and goodbye.